Hi everyone, Dr. Victoria Skirbo here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. Today I thought I would do some quick reads on the candidates for the 2020 Democratic nomination. So just some quick, just a few quick reads. Now, I realize it's very early in the it's very early in this race, and there's just so many people in the race. So we'll see, and I have a couple of questions. Of course, according to the polls, the front runner is Joe Biden. He just had another incident where he got touchy-feely. Of course, it was with a young girl, 10-year-old. You know, he was just really being grandfatherly as far as I can tell from the look of it. But he's not learning his lesson that he shouldn't touch anybody because this is the kind of stuff that blows up the internet. So let's look at Biden first, his chances at this point. And again, this is soon, so I think I'm only going to do a truncated cross here. Okay, so his immediate environment. Okay, we have the Prince of Cups. This is somebody on a quest. There's a sense that he feels like this is an emotional person, deeply emotional. He is a Scorpio, so he is a water sign. But there's this sense of a savior kind of sense with this, is like, I'm going to beat the Trumpster, right? He's on like a sacred mission. So he feels like he's on some kind of sacred mission. Let's see what's crossing that. Okay, we have the Hierophant crossing it. Government is crossing. Tradition is crossing. So I feel as though the thing that is of least benefit to him is the fact that he's been in politics for so long and he's been around for so long. And of course, your ideas and your thoughts, they change, through the years. I think he's been in the, was it the Congress in 72? I mean, it's a long, long time. He's been in Washington. And I don't think that's a benefit for people anymore. I think experience is important, but having such a long history, it's easy to sort of pick apart. So I feel like that's a difficulty for him. Let's see what's at the root of this. So at the root we have the Hermit, and there's a part of me that feels like he had to be convinced for him to do this. I feel like at the core of who he is, he really just wants to sort of do his thing, but there's also an energy here of sharing the knowledge that you've accrued over the years. So I think he has both. I think he wants to share his knowledge and his perspective on things, but I also think there's a part of him that would have preferred to just retire. Let's see in the past. Okay, there was the Hope. This was the Great Hope. I think this was the Obama administration. What was it? Yes, we can. And there was a whole thing with hope, right, with that. So, and it was a hopeful time and such. So in the sky, we have the Three of Swords. This is betrayal. This is heartbreak. So this isn't looking good for Joe up top. All right, let's see the immediate future. And we have the Princess of Pentacles. And this actually looks a little like, this girl is Asian. The little girl that he was talking to, I think, was Hispanic, or she looks Hispanic anyway. But this whole little girl thing is not going to bode well for him, I would say. So this is a problem for Joe. Joe has to learn this lesson. Okay, so that's where Joe's at right now. Now let's see who the second person. In second place is Bernie Sanders. So let's see where Bernie stands here. Of course, full disclosure, he is my favorite. I think what we'll do is maybe we'll do 3 at a time. Okay. So let's do Bernie. All right. Bernie's immediate environment. Okay, we have the Empress. All right, so this is a good card. This is about things growing. This is having planted seeds and watching and nurturing them to grow. This is also women. He has powerful women around him. He is very pro-woman. He's always been very pro-woman. So even though he's an old white guy, I think he has a lot of backing from women. But this really says to me that this is somebody who's basing his run on his values. This card is associated with the planet Venus. In fact, she has the sigil for Venus here on her heart shield behind her as she sits in the garden. And Venus is our values and what's important to us. Okay, let's see what's crossing him. Okay, we have the Ten of Cups. I feel as though this is the Republicans. I think that of all the candidates, he's the one who could most easily beat Trump. At this point anyway. Maybe Buttigieg also, but we're talking about Bernie. So I feel like this is somebody who... so I think the Republicans are worried about him. And I think they're going to do everything that they can. And it's interesting because a lot of the attacks that Bernie is undergoing is actually coming from the Democrats more than the Republicans. But I feel like, I feel like that's the issue here. That's the challenge. Okay. Let's see what's at the root. Okay, we have the Four of Swords again. Interesting. I mean, not again. I did a reading previous to this that I didn't put up. So, Four of Swords at the root of the reading. I feel as though this is somebody who's thought out a lot of, has spent time pondering, has spent a lot of time thinking, meditating. And the 4 is a number of foundations. And so here we have a foundation of both action and thought with him, because he has taken action over the... I mean, he's been around. He hasn't been around quite as long as Joe Biden has been around, but he's been around a long time too. The difference is you can look back at what he did and see that he's saying the same thing for 40 years. He has the same values for 40 years. And then you can see that Biden has sort of changed his perspective, changed his views and such. So, okay. So there's somebody who's the foundation is well thought out and, sort of well thought out and acted upon. The past, this is the Eight of Pentacles. He is the workhorse. I think he was the senator with the most, I forget what you call them. I'm sorry I don't have the verbiage, to put stuff up in front to vote on. Bills, I guess, and things like that. He's always been a very hard worker. He continues to be a hard worker, and he's just sort of plodding away, saying the same thing, doing the same thing, working for the good of the people, right? All right. Let's see what's in the sky for Bernie. Okay, the Ace of Pentacles. This is new beginnings around money. So this is a good card. There's new money coming in. All right, so that's positive. And let's see. Okay, and we have the Tower card here. The Tower. So something is about to hit. Something is about to change and shift. Now, how this is going to manifest for Bernie, I don't know. The Tower card isn't always... it could be an illumination for him. It could be a disaster for him. Or it could be an illumination for people around the issue of Bernie. I'm going to just maybe pull a couple more cards, see if we can get. Okay, we have the King of Cups here. The Ace of Wands. And the Wheel of Fortune. Quite frankly, I do not believe that this is Bernie. And I know I said that I like him, so you might say, oh, but you like him, you don't want it to be him. But that's not what it feels like to me. It feels like something is about to happen. Something is about to come down. This could be Trump, coming down. This could be, this could be a Trump thing. And because of that, I feel as though things will change for Bernie. Yeah, things will change for him. So that's what it looks like to me. Okay, so yeah, something's coming down the pike, and I don't know what that's about. I could do a separate reading about that. Now I want to look at Pete Buttigieg. I like Mayor Pete. There are certain things about him. I personally don't think he's progressive enough. But I could see how people would like him because he's sort of new and he's smart and he's got a little Obama sort of smoothness and well thought outness about him. But I do think that he's less impressionable. Well, I shouldn't say that. I think Obama had great ideas, but I think that he wasn't as much of a fighter as he could have been. And I think part of the reason for that is because this was pre-Trump, so it wasn't as dire. And I also think that being a black man, you have to be extra careful. I mean, you fighting as a black man is different than fighting as a white man. White men get away with it, black men don't. They kill black men for fighting back. So there was that, and he had a sort of a vibe for getting along and trying to reach consensus. That was his thing. I think Buttigieg is less of that, if I remember, and he's a Capricorn. And so he might be a little bit more directive in that respect. But let's see what comes up for Buttigieg. Okay, we have the Prince of Swords here. We have a young man. A young man who's coming in with ideas. Now, this can be somebody who has rushed into battle. He is a veteran, so this could be him. This is somebody with ideas. This card generally is a card that denotes like chaos and such, but I don't feel like this particular Prince of Swords is a little bit more, he's not rushing in quite as headstrongly as most of the other princes. So this is somebody with some ideas and some experience in military. He was in naval intelligence, so he's a pretty smart guy. Let's see what's crossing it. Okay, we have the Princess of Wands. I think this is his youth, to a certain extent, is a little bit of a detriment for him. Little, not as much experience, perhaps. I don't know what sign his wife is. His husband. I mean, his partner. Sorry. I'm probably going to get a comment for that. But his partner, Christian, I think his name is. I don't know what sign he is. I should check that out. I wonder if that's going to be a problem for him. Let's see what's at the root. Okay, we have the Six of Pentacles. That's a nice card to have at the root. This is a card of redistribution of wealth to a certain extent. A balancing of the scales. This is somebody who might be financially more concerned with sort of balancing budgets and stuff, and such. And of course, that's what mayors of cities do, right? They're always balancing something. This is the past, the Eight of Wands. This is him coming on like gangbusters. So he just came on the scene and exploded onto the scene. Let's see what's in the sky. Okay, the Prince of Pentacles. So this is about careful managing of his money. Okay, this is he has to figure out where his money is going to come from. And the problem with that in this environment is that he has to be careful of who he takes his money from, because it can bite him in the butt, as it were. And let's see what's the immediate. Okay, so his immediate future is there's a lot of burdens here. He's taking on, there's a lot of responsibility. He's going to have to unburden himself somewhat in order for him to get what he needs to do. He needs to organize his policies. This can be your creations, your creativity. I think he needs to work on his policy positions a little bit more. I think that's going to be yeah, I think that's his next step. So generally not a terrible reading, but he has some work to do in order to really be viable. Okay, so that was Joe and Bernie and Pete, Mayor Pete. I'm going to do the next reading. I'm going to do on the women. I'm going to do Elizabeth Warren, Kamala, and I think Amy Klobuchar in the next reading. So I'll be back for that. Okay, take care. Like and subscribe.